In 1971, a man hijacked a plane. He demanded $200,000 in cash. He asked for a bourbon while he waited, and then he jumped out of the back, mid-flight. Nobody ever found him, not because they didn't try. The FBI spent 45 years looking. 45 years. And what they ended up with was a clip-on tie. This is the story of D.B Cooper, the only unsolved hijacking in American aviation history, and the most politely executed crime ever committed. November 24th, 1971, a man walks up to the ticket counter at Portland International Airport. He buys a one-way ticket under the name Dan Cooper. He boards Northwest Orient Flight 305, a Boeing 727 with 36 passengers and a full crew. He sits in the back row. He orders a bourbon and soda. He's wearing a dark suit, a white shirt, and a black clip-on tie. A clip-on tie. Normal people wear clip-on ties. Criminals wear clip-on ties. Spies do not wear clip-on ties. Keep that in mind. About 20 minutes into the flight, he passes a note to the flight attendant, Florence Schaffner. Florence assumes it's a phone number. She puts it in her pocket without reading it. He leans over and says very quietly, "Miss, you'd better look at that note." She reads it. It says he has a bomb. Florence does not scream. Florence does not panic. Florence has to see it. He opens the briefcase just enough. Wires, red cylinders, a battery. Whether it was real, nobody ever confirmed. But Florence was not about to find out. He tells her what he wants. $200,000 in cash. 4 parachutes. A refueled plane. And then he ordered another bourbon. Florence relays the demands to the cockpit. The pilots call Seattle Air Traffic Control. Seattle calls the FBI. The FBI calls the airline. And Northwest Orient makes a decision. They paid him. No standoff. No negotiators. No heroics. They just paid him. The plane circles Seattle for 2 hours while the cash is gathered. 21 pounds of used $20 bills. Every serial number photographed. 4 parachutes sourced from a local skydiving school. 2 of those parachutes were dummy training chutes that couldn't be steered. He either didn't know this or didn't care. Both options are deeply unsettling. The plane lands in Seattle. The money is loaded on board. The passengers are told there's a mechanical issue and let off. 36 people walked off a hijacked plane not knowing they were ever on one. The crew refuels, and this man sits alone in the back of an empty Boeing 727, finishing his drink. The plane takes off again. He tells the pilots to fly slow and low toward Mexico, below 10,000 feet, landing gear down. These are not the instructions of someone who didn't do his homework. Around 8 p.m., a warning light flickers in the cockpit. The rear air stair has been activated, the fold-down staircase at the back of the plane. The captain calls back. "Everything is fine," he says. These are the last words anyone ever heard D.B Cooper speak. The plane lands in Reno, Nevada, as planned. The crew walks to the back. The stairs are open. The man is gone. The money is gone. 1 parachute is gone. And sitting perfectly neatly on the seat is the clip-on tie. He left the tie. Of everything he could have left, he left the tie. The FBI arrived. They looked at the empty seat. They looked at the open stairs. They looked at the tie and launched one of the largest manhunts in American history. They called it Operation Norjack. Over the next 4 decades, they investigated over 800 suspects. 800. They checked military records looking for trained paratroopers. They checked criminal databases. They followed leads across 3 continents. Some investigators dedicated their entire careers to this one case. They found nothing. In 1972, a copycat tried the exact same method on another Northwest Orient flight. He was caught immediately. The FBI added special latches to all rear air stairs across the entire industry. They're still called Cooper Vanes to this day, the only thing he ever put his name on. Years passed, then decades. In 1980, a young boy named Brian Ingram was digging in the sand near the Columbia River. His fingers hit something. 3 bundles of rotting $20 bills. The serial numbers matched the ransom money. $290 worth. Out of $200,000. $290. That was the only confirmed physical evidence ever recovered. No body, no parachute, no fingerprints, no name, just $290 rotting on a riverbank. Scientists studied the bills for years and couldn't explain how they got there. Did he land in the river? Did he bury it and it washed away? Did he just throw money into a river for fun? Nobody knows. In 2016, after 45 years, the FBI suspended the case. Not solved. Suspended. The investigative equivalent of putting something in a very large drawer and walking away. D.B Cooper remains the only unsolved case of air piracy in American commercial aviation history. No confirmed name, no confirmed face, no confirmed fate. If he survived the jump, he landed in dense Washington forest in November, in the dark, in the rain. Survival experts say the odds were extremely low. But then again, the odds of the whole plan working were also extremely low, and he managed that just fine. Maybe somewhere, an old man spent 50 years smiling quietly every time the news said his name, or maybe the forest has kept his secret since 1971. Either way, one man walked onto a plane with a briefcase and a plan, got his money, got his parachute, jumped into the night, and was never found. The most powerful law enforcement agency on the planet searched for 45 years, and all they have to show for it is a clip-on tie. And if you made it this far, you clearly like what we're doing here. So hit the like button and subscribe for more videos.